Go to the tool creation development workshop. What we're going to do is we're going to basically be learning how to create what's called daemons, bots, and agents. We're going to be learning about the differences between these types of things. We want to create what's basically a list of all of these different types of fictional actions, skills, and abilities that would exist in a video game like Cyberpunk 2020. What these Netrunner cybersecurity hackers have at their disposal and what kind of tools already exist that are like that, and how could we make these tools in real life. For each action, skill, or ability, include a sub list of real world tools that are exactly the same. Real world OSINT and cybersecurity tools. There we go. And so this is a really handy way to get it to tell you all kinds of things, because it can take from fiction all of these bigger concepts and then it can break them down into the real world. Low orbit ion cannon network stress testing. Oh, okay. So that's just that's just the name of the tool in the CyberDeck tool. So that's okay, but here's what I really want. That's a little more generic. We're going to edit this message and we're going to see if we can actually get it to give us something a little more like I was hoping for. I was able to get it to do this last time. Yep, data spike. And so these are the names from the game. And so this is what I was a little looking for. I was looking for it to come up with these names of the game. Now I'm going to name of the items in the game per se. And look at these. These are all actually pretty fantastic types of generic tools and techniques. So now what I'm going to do is now I'm going to add this little doohickey and I'm going to see what it comes up with for these different tools. And then we're going to pick one and we're going to observe how it would be like to build it. Perhaps we'll look at that. It's actually showing us tools that can get us these abilities. So a quick hack interface, Metasploit, look at these. These are real ones. Well, this is great. Okay, what I wanted to do is, create 10 more that don't have anything comparable in real life. A neural hijack. We don't have that in real life, at least not yet. A temporal network surge. These are pretty advanced. We're going to let it ride, and then we're going to see if we can get something a little more practical. A hyper reality overlay. Okay, these are definitely much farther out of scope, but that's okay. These 10 are cool, but far out of technology scope. Create another 8. It's, by the way, this is the reason I'm doing that is it makes it easier when you have the list. Every time you remake a list, just change the number, maybe arbitrarily or perhaps harmonically. Depends on what you're trying to do. In this case, I don't want it to be harmonic. I want the next list to be a very unique and different one. Otherwise, I might pick 5 because that's half of 10. Or I would have picked 12, and then I can divide that into 2 or 3, or 2, 3, or 4. I could do it 6. And so the number of other values that can fold really matter in terms of a list. So sometimes it's better to have like a prime number as your list item if you want to kind of force it to think differently. So once again, the numerology, the number that you picked for your list count really actually matters in terms of what it's going to produce because that's what it has to, that's like the number of divides it has to make for its concepts. Okay, so create another list of 8 more practical options that still don't have real world equivalents. Oh, of course it doesn't. Equivalence. No. Oh, okay. Yeah. Instant blueprint hacking. Digital mirage. Still a little tough. We're talking about tough stuff to make here, but we're getting closer. Huh. Code invisibility. Renders the hacking activity completely invisible to all digital. Well, that's just very magical. I wonder how that would even work. Utilizing sophisticated cloaking algorithms. A netrunner can. Okay, emergency system reboot. That's pretty standard. That's definitely something we can actually get. This isn't working though, but that's okay. I'm showing you the process for trying to search and dig into possible ideas that don't exist in reality that might be viable. And so this is this kind of process for digging into it. And so dig further down, dig further into practicality, and try to make these ideas work. It's okay if there are real world examples. Create a new list of new items. A new list of 7 new items. Here's what I want to ask it. I want an easy to use GUI graphics user interface style app that can be used as a fast touch screen interface for controlling Metasploit. Let's see if that exists. Well, first it's going to talk about creating it. And think about what I just said. What a tool. That's nice. It even gives us these mock-ups of the interface. But yeah, something like touchscreen would be nice. Are there any apps in existence that work like a GUI that controls Metasploit? Searching. Oh, look at that. Boy, I like this. Sounds all costs money, I'm sure. Let's take a look at these. Actually, let's take a look at these. Very interesting. So this one is called Armitage GUI. I'm not really seeing a very particular. It's definitely much more of let's see, desktop based. Obviously, I was kind of hoping for something that was a little less desktop based. Um, but this is pretty interesting. I kind of like this. This is not what I was looking for though. I was looking for something that looks like a touch screen with buttons that you can set to do specific tasks, kind of like an automation control panel. So let's see what this other one was. Metasploit Pro interface. Yep, this is the same kind of thing where we're basically using Metasploit, but we're using a desktop. So what we want is, what about a mobile app that operates like an automation an automation control panel. Oh, interesting. Okay, so it's going right to constructing it. I was kind of trying to ask it if it already exists. Think about what you're talking about here. This is a technology that we're talking about that does not exist, a tool that could exist on your phone but does not exist. I'm creating an instruction manual for how to make this. But this is a very prime example for how to make that kind of tool. Let's see. Would this work on, are there any examples of such a mobile app in real life? Okay. Let's take a look at these. Phonesploit Pro. Recently, only existed this year. Only works on Android. Then again, iOS is terrible for creating hacking devices. To be honest, it's a nightmare. I'm an iOS programmer. I would know. It's they have so many freaking restrictions. It's impossible. Good luck getting that app on the App Store. They'll never let it go. Um, Much smarter to do it on Android. Get a lot more access to the baseline systems. Um, it also makes it so that you can get like special types of phones. Very interesting. Okay. So this technically exists. Complete automation and get it to get a interpreter, a meta interpreter, probably what that means. Maybe. Um, cool. Okay, so that's an example of a tool that you might want to take a look at. Let's see. Let's see what this Android spyware thing is. Very old. Did not recently updated. But it's probably been around for a while. Oh, look at that. It's got this nice bigger screen. Okay, cool. But I want to ask more specific questions. What do I want to ask? I want to create a special advanced CyberDeck. I want to create it out of a phone. What kind of phone? I have two phones here. I'm going to use a Redmi. I think it's a Redmi 3. I believe it's a Redmi 3. I'm trying to check the version, the model, or whatever, but it's not saying. I'm sure it's a Redmi 3. And I want to create it out of a Redmi 3. It's with Kali Net Hunter installed as the OS. I would like to create a custom advanced hacking app interface for my CyberDeck. Create overall instructions for how to build this. Before I do that, are there any existing apps that would be able to be used with Kali Net Hunter? And so for those of you who don't know, this is an operating system for Kali Linux, but installing it on a mobile device. So on a mobile phone, mobile device. Mobile phone device, mobile phone device. That enable super fast automated meta tool usage. Yeah. Well, it didn't answer the question that I put at the end because I mostly already said that I want to create. And so it's going to look like it's going to talk about the creation process first. It's going to look at these other things that already exist. So at least, so that's actually good because now it's referencing these other technologies that already exist. Oh, wait, no, of course it is. It's talking about these. Oh, let's take a look at whatever this is. I want to see. It's an terminal emulator. Oh, so that's just basically allows you to emulate a terminal on your mobile device. It's just a terminal. So that's just something you type in with your keyboard. We've already seen these, so we've seen all of these except for Terminix, but Terminix, let's take a look at what it is at least so everybody knows. Terminix on mobile. So as you can see, it's mostly just the ability to access the terminal via an app. So it's just a terminal app for your phone. Not a bad thing to have, by the way. Pretty useful. But look at that. Pretty impressive that it's able to go this far with all of these types of instructions in developing this technology. Definitely worth a really good deep dive into figuring out how to create these kinds of tools. So let's see. Let me go back up. We had these three terms, and I want to define these terms because this is important. Define these terms in context of our discussion. because they're technically the same, but they're also not the same. So we need to know the differences. And so what are these? These are daemons, bots, and agents. We're going to learn the very subtle, slight difference between each one of them. Let's just go into a summary then. Daemons work as background processes that run continuously to perform specific tasks without interaction. Sounds like a bot. Bots are automated programs that carry out specific tasks over the internet, often enhancing efficiency and speed in cyber operations. And finally, agents are software entities that act autonomously, making decisions and performing tasks based on rules or AI, providing intelligence, automation, and adaptability. Can you do a better job differentiating between only got 2 more minutes, then I'm going to close it out. And so daemons are more long-running processes that start during system boot. So this is the kind of stuff that kind of runs in the background the moment that you start a app or something. If you have a kind of instance that is malefic, a daemon might be installed in the background of your computer to do whatever it's doing. So hackers will totally use daemons to make things happen. They are autonomous. They can be very complicated. They don't require any user interaction, and they will often provide essential, like the normal ones are supposed to provide essential systems and network services. But the other ones are supposed to mess with and modify essential systems and network services for whatever their purpose really is. Happens all the time. Let's see. So bots, in contrast, are scripts and programs for performing repetitive tasks on the internet. So this is more internet-based, whereas this is more local on your computer-based. They can operate independently or in response to specific events. Not too much different. We're really not seeing much of a difference. Agents are software entities that act on behalf of a user or system, often with some level of intelligence or decision-making capacity. So these are smarter. Agents are definitely smarter than them. Bots are a little more. These two are definitely more simple. Bots are more on the internet, whereas daemons are more on the hardware of the system. Both of them, all of them, work with in networking, no matter what. And look, it looks here that we have a hierarchy of complexity. So daemons are the least complex, then bots, then agents. And so I guess that's a really good way to put it. Like we're basically talking about levels of advancement. But it looks like the agents are the most autonomous and the closest to actually running with AI. What with there being like a agent GPT or auto GPT, those are basically two different types of things. Agent. Definitely worth a look, definitely worth a research if you want to figure out how to make something that'll just go and just make your things. These are excellent ideas for how to get those tools to manifest in reality. They're very expensive if you don't run them locally, but if you want to run them locally, they're rather difficult to set up. Totally worth it. Definitely a good definitely a good research study, and if you can get it running, that'll really help you out. Good luck getting this kind of thing running on Kali Net Hunter. You'll probably need something a lot more powerful than just a little mobile phone because of the amount of RAM that you're going to need, which is like at least 16, if not more than that. Gigabytes. I mean, that's going to be way more than actually if you want to have a local GPT running. That kind of covers the basics of this aspect of how to figure out how to make tools. Here, once again, Here's a list of different types of tool ideas. Every single one of these, there's a bunch of different versions of the tools. You can use ChatGPT to figure out how to engineer them explicitly. You can always just, for example, figure out how to build this, how to build this for real on Kali Net Hunter. So I will just close as it shows you how to do this. And these are the types of ways that you can basically just create your own custom tools. Try to keep them simple. Don't overcomplicate them. You want them to be modular and easy for ChatGPT to help you diagnose and build on in the first place. You don't want to create something that's a little too complicated. Otherwise, it's not going to be worth it. Definitely worth also taking a look at how to merge tools and how to make them more complicated. I'll make another seminar that kind of focuses on that as I help team members building their own custom CyberDecks. Thank you for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one. Have a good day, everybody.